trainer stat for tough luck. Hugh McMahon, last out winners, first after 2 to 4 month layoffs, 3 for the last 14, 21%, 227 ROI. This horse was entered and scratched on March the 23rd. I've been waiting for this horse. I really liked the maiden win. Maybe it was a wet track move up, Keith, but this horse was 4-5 wide all the way around the track. Bumped with the odds-on runner-up in mid-stretch and kept on going. Very game effort.
Yeah, the blinkers went on last time. Out Aikman's double, who was able to kind of wear it down, grind it out through that last furlong. Tough luck certainly works for me. No doubt about it. I think he can be a little bit closer, but Boyd, I think, is just going to go ahead and try to clear off in here and rate. Hopefully, then try to back things up. The 5. What are your thoughts on this runner for Ferry? The 2 back number 59 at Charlestown allowance, but I think dropping into an okay spot. I might prefer this one sprinting though.
I won't be surprised if this horse runs well sprinting, but at least got the 2-turn experience in the last 2 starts and ran well going the 2 turns, 2 starts back with the career best buyer. Very late to change leads in that race, 2 starts back. Maybe that cost him the victory that day. Last time out, again, on that left lead in the stretch. This horse still has to figure it out. And going a mile and a 16th, if he has trouble changing leads, it might work against him.
Yeah, I think it definitely could. But we're hoping. Biravina Boulevard. Again, the outer post, we got the A post. I think enough position to get position early. We'll see what the horse just to the inside does. Who says so? Coming out of a pretty quick internal race, might try to go forward as well.
8-6-4-5 for Keith, 8-4-6-1 for me in race number 5, the first leg of the late pick 4. Let's move on to race number 6. 5.5 furlongs on the turf. It's a maiden claimer, 45 down to 36. Maryland bred and or sired runners may waive the claiming price. Take out the 5, the 6, the 7, the 8, the 10, the 11, and the 16 in race number 6, which of course is the Jackpot Super High 5 race for a $1 wager. Wide open event in here, Keith. You can go so many different ways, but I want to watch the video spotlight for That's Tap.
Yeah, this was a really good race, and this was my value play, I believe, this afternoon at 12 to 1. Got great position with Toriaba off a little bit of a break, and we talked about how we like this one, making those middle moves into some pretty good paces going longer. The addition of Lasix, everything was going to kind of set up beautifully. Unfortunately, Endearing Gold at 6 to 5, just too good. But look at this little inside, works outward mid-stretch. Dead game to the wire.
It was really a beautiful ride, just tucking in behind the leaders, waiting for the seam, getting to the outside, and once produced comes with a kick. You're just right. The favorite is just simply better, but this horse never stops trying in the stretch. Just look at the dig, making up ground all the way to the end, despite hopping back to his left lead nearing the wire. But I like this horse's tactical speed, and if he runs back to that 72 buyer speed figure in the first start of the layoff, he is going to be dangerous. I'm going with a little bit of a price in here with the 4 and bar. Susan Cooney knocked it out of the park on turf at Pimlico. 2 winners. One was 43 to 1, the amazing win, Mizzen. The other one was Steam Knot, 7 to 2. I believe Sarah Del Fabro was on that one. Sarah's on Anbar, who has a little bit of a pedigree. A half to Finbar, who was multiple stakes placed on the turf. The Dam was a stakes winner on the turf. M-Bar. Now, both of those horses wanted to go a little bit longer, and maybe this is just sort of a prep for something longer down the road. But I'm curious to see what we get for a hot barn with a turf pedigree at a price.
I think this one, take a look at the debut today, see how he performs. Again, might want a little bit longer. The Virginia bred, keep an eye out down to Colonial.
Another Virginia bred could be the speed in this race, and that's the 13 Karma's in the house, who just blasted to the top last time out. 21 and change, 44 and change, and it took a nice horse in Twain to run him down. Twain came back and earned a stakes placing at Pimlico, so Karma's in the house. This horse is going to be in front, probably turning for home.
Very, very fast. You're right, and we'll see. We're going to have a turf course that has a little bit more give, and that's the unknown. Maybe he'll take a little bit better to a course that's got a little bit more cut into it. Karma's in the house. Yeah, the road is going to go through him. He's a big concern for me because I saw the trip Dad's Town got. If he moves in too soon, do they get hooked up and soften things up for Enzo, who's going to take a lot of play in here?
Enzo's going to take a ton of play. Nice to see his brother Whitty come through in the big stakes race at Pimlico for Lizzie Merriman. Enzo ran so well last time out off of the layoff. Just got beat 3/4 of a length by Twain, who just ran over the top of him. I think this might just be the right spot for him.
It could, no doubt. He's going to be just the shorter price, but you see Toriaba, who rode Dad's Tap. He ends up going here to Enzo, staying on. little bit of tail, but Enzo's going to be tough. I just, I'm hoping maybe Dad's Tap can take to this a little bit softer ground.
We're looking for a nutty price source. How about the two-man to a man who hasn't run in over a year and is trying turf for the first time? But Milan Milosevic, his horses seem to do very well on turf. That last workout matches up with a horse named Sugar Bee, who's earned a 71 buyer on turf from Milosevic. Maybe they worked in company. It was a quick drill. I think this horse will show a little speed.
I'm a little surprised. I almost put the 1 into the mix, and I'm surprised your man Benny Havens for what he did for you recently, right? And you've got Tidewater, Beltane, all in this family. A shocker, maybe 30 to 1 or higher. You might want to throw a couple bucks on this one across the board, if not the show. For T.J. Aguirre. I saw that. I'm like, Dan's going to have this horse into the mix.
Nothing,
you are
that's
hard.
Nothing
man.
would shock me in this game and this race, but
Yeah.
that shocked Keith that I didn't have the 1 in there. Big Tidewater fan, though. 3-9, 13-4 for Keith, 4-3, 2-9 for me in the 6th. We'll move on to the Lake Double, race number 7, 6 furlongs on the main track. Fillies and mares 3 and up. Second level allowance, optional claiming price 40 down to 32. Take out the 2, Kitten's Appeal. Take out the 10, anonymously. The horse they're all going to have to beat in here is for the Russell Barn. That's First Lady Rosalind, the number 5, who's taking a nice class drop.
Yeah, one that this condition, right, at 2 other than down at Colonial. In for the tag today, beating Alani. And we saw what Alani did on the comeback facing Disco Evo. And the start, that was all that took it right out of First Lady Rosalind last time. I made that move into that quicker flow just to fade. Gets a little help, I think, with the 2 being scratching here. Kitten's Appeal, who I thought was going to be part of it. So maybe the target is talk to the judge, but with an alert break, certainly the 5 is going to be tough.
Yeah, anything close to that 82 buyer into Colonial 2 starts back will make her tough, although she did have an easy lead that day over what I thought was a speed-favoring track. But last time out, you're right. Off slow, then chased a fast pace and a really classy horse in Disco Ebo. But we like the 9, Devil Plays in Gold, and we have a video spotlight for this horse. This is a real hard hitter that shows up every time and might be racing herself back into shape for this, the 3rd start off the layoff.
3rd start off the layoff could be really, really key because you're pretty. Just
freaked.
ran off the screen. You're right. Freaked this particular afternoon. But I think all in all, the grittiness of Devil Pays in Gold through the final furlong, that's good enough for me. Yeah, the winner draws off by 8, but you got to see that effort, and she was able to edge out Sheila's War Cloud.
She was
pretty nice.
She was very game for second.
Yep.
Watch this battle for second, and you're right. Sheila's War Cloud is sort of a stakes caliber horse on her best day, but Devil Pays in Gold just refuses to drop the decision. Sheila's War Cloud's on the outside. Devil Pays in Gold is down on the rail. Devil Pays in Gold not only wins the Bob, she won the Gallop out as well, and I just think 3rd off the layoff from this outside post, she can set up shop maybe in 3rd or 4th, ready to attack on the turn.
I do think her positional speed is going to really help her chances in race number 7. This is a good race. I think Too Many Kisses.
Absolutely.
I originally had on top, but with the scratch of some of the flow, I was like, yeah, I backed off. But I'm definitely going to use this runner. 7-2 here for the combo. Tim Keefe, Forest Boys. They can win some races. So Philly, she's 2 for 2 at 7/8 of a mile. This mare, I should say. She likes to sprint. I think she works near freshened up. Facing some heavy hitters the last couple times on the main track, going long, mile and 8, 2 back, the 1-turn mile last time out. I think this race is going to set up okay for Too Many Kisses.
But she's been in against some really good horses. The Call and Other Plays, the Sea Dancer. She's already a restricted stakes winner. Wouldn't be surprised, especially if this pace heats up. And sometimes Talk to the Judge has that runaway speed. These fractions could get hot. We're both going with Devil Pays in Gold. 3rd off the bench. 9, 4, 5, 7 for Keith. 9, 5, 4, and 1 for me in race number 7. We're going to wrap things up with race number 8. Race number 8's at 6 furlongs. It's a maiden claimer, 10 down to 8. Maryland Breds can opt for the 12-5. Take out the 8, T.O. Pachi. Keith?
Yeah, this is
a tough one.
Yeah, it's a tough. Yeah,
You're going to the rail.
Who do you trust? Yeah, and let's just throw up the stat, and I'm kind of riding with that. You don't like seeing a maiden claim for 20 and then right back down for 10, but I bit. I'm a sucker, I guess. But Phil Cap, experienced horses, first racing. How about that, Dan? 7 for 19?
7 for 19. Phil saw something to claim this horse for 20 out of the race. It's not like this horse was taking a lot of money. And this horse just threw a fit in the post parade that might have taken some of the starch out of Musgrave. Got wired by Tetch that day. Tetch came back and ran second in a 25,000 non-2 with a 67 buyer. So I won't be surprised. first Lasix, first
gelding.
gelding, trop in class, lots of angles.
Yeah, off of that line, you have the ability to go ahead and jam. You're going to do that here, and we've got Thais Liapistine. That was a speed, kind of a lean day as well.
Wonder if repeating, of course, can get to the front in here. Couldn't do it last time out. We have a trainer stat for Horacio De Paz between May 2nd and May 18th. This barn's been going very well, 20%, a 254 ROI. This horse was pushing the pace 3 wide. Didn't like that he made a little bit of an early lead change on the turn and then flattened out pretty badly. But I think if he can get to the lead, and I just think he's faster than the 2 horses to his inside, he can get brave.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to deal with Findiora, though, going turf to dirt for Damon. This is a horse 3 races back. Last time went 6 furlongs on the meat track. Ran well.
Sure.
Maybe not quite the internals of repeating, of course, his last race, but I think close enough. Showed some grittiness there. Definite use here for me with Damon.
Speedy Alex hasn't raced since December the 1st, was entered and scratched 3 times in the interim, but is another horse. First time Lasix, first time gelding. This horse had to alter course to the outside last time, was very late to change leads. I think against this group, though, this horse will fit, because Up in Flames, the horse that beat him last time out, came back into 47 buyer and an open 16 claimer. So I think Speedy Alex fits, but the layoff is a little concerning.
Agreed. But coming back, a completely different animal, and ran well fresh enough going back at 2.
1, 4, 2, 3 for Keith. 3, 2, 1, 7 for me. And the finale at Laurel Park. 8 race card. Best play. Who's it going to be?
Best play. We went back and forth. I go Baravino Boulevard in race number 5. He took the blinkers off, the cheek pieces went on. The ability to get to 2 turns, positional speed, I think is the one in this group that just might be going in the right direction.
I'm going to go in race number 7 today. We're going to try to beat the morning line favorite with Devil Pays in Gold. He's just a hard hitter. I think he's going to get a good trip. And if he could stay around that 4-1, 5-1 price, I think he's worth a play. 30 minutes to post for the first race on our opening day of the Laurel Park meeting. Main track is good, turf is good. Callie Francois, Mackenzie Pfeiffer, Dave Rodman will take you through the day, and we'll go up to Dave for scratches and changes.
All right, good luck.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Laurel Park. Track good, turf good. Just about a half hour to post time. Cloudy skies, temperature in the lower 60s here in Maryland today. Here's a look at your Laurel Park changes. First race, scratch 1A, Jewish Mother. Number 2, Teddy's Lucky Girl, 1 over. Scratch 5, Tight Line. Scratch 6, Radiant Tones. Scratch 8, Autumn in Vermont. Scratch 13, Risky Business. Scratch 14, Lord's Lady. Scratch 15, Fab Girl. Second race. Scratch number 7, Out of Luck. Third race. Number 1, Last Gift. Jockey Andres Chavez. Andres Chavez on the 1, Last Gift. Fourth race. Scratch 7, Mystic. Fifth race. Scratch 9, Let's Have a Party. In the sixth race. Scratch 5, One True Dude. 6, Mike's Magic. 7, Sure Meant to Be. 8, Wrap and Send. Scratch 10, Nakanara. 11, Built by Kozan. The 14 is 1 over, Balcypress. Scratch 15, Elon, and the 16, Railroad Inn. 7th race. Scratch 2, Kitten's Appeal. Number 3, Cavalier Cupid, no bar shoes. No bar shoes. Number 3, Cavalier Cupid. Scratch 10, anonymously. 8th race, no changes. We have racing from San Isidro following our live card. 4 races from San Isidro, Argentina, wagered through Laurel Park. Current main track condition good and the turf good. 27 minutes to the opener. And the first value pick 5 of the day. 12% takeout. Good luck this afternoon at Laurel Park.
Welcome, welcome. We are back here at Laurel Park for the first day of the summer meet. But quickly, before we do that, Mackenzie, a quick reflection on Preakness 150.
It was absolutely wonderful. You know, it had to be quirky just to really fit in with Charm City, and certainly had plenty of exciting moments for us. But my gosh, journalism, he just really is that good. And it's kind of what I thought throughout the spring, but to see it happen in real life was great.
I loved how the local horses, you guys came here and delivered both on Black Eyed Susan and Preakness Day at an assortment of prices there. So I'm very proud of all of our Maryland home entrants here for the big 2 days that we had for Preakness 150. Well done to you, and of course well done to journalism for that prolific Preakness win, as we will keep a sharp eye out for what's coming up in the Belmont. But for now, of course, we have that early value pick 5, lowest in the takeout of all takeouts here. Let's take a look at what Keith Fusel's got going on for us for this $18 ticket. I love it. The number 10, Lyric Street, being his top selection there. A stat on this one a little bit later. Trombetta and Villa Lobos team up together. Race number 2, he goes with the number 3 on top, At First Sight. Of course, we have a Keith Fusel video spotlight later. 3 deep. He also goes 3 deep in there. The number 4, Haley's Flip, first time starter. Interesting breeding. Keith wanted to note singles on the Russell. Yo Adrian, of course. And in race number 5, his top selection in the number 8, another replay with Biervino Boulevard, Thais and Rudy Sanchez Solomon, and that's his value play along with Mr. Mendelslew for an $18 ticket, and we're going to get things going here. Of course, we've got to open the summer meet with a run on the Laurel lawn. We go a mile here on the turf in this maiden claiming 12-5. Plenty of scratches here, the uncoupled entry. Of course, also the 5, 6, 8, and 13, 14, and 15. We are going to go ahead and talk about the number 3, breaking from the 2 post and learning to fly. This is for Carrie Bryan. Forrest Boyce gets the call, and that's really all you need to go off of with this 9-2. Of course, every time Forrest rides this one, she gets results, whether it's going short or going long.
Right, you know, I didn't necessarily intend to land with this one as my top selection, but the scratches do change things. I sort of wondered if this is one who, drawing towards the inside, could have a really big benefit in that regard. Maybe isn't always the quickest early on, but I think this is a setup that could work very, very well for the filly coming off of this layoff.
Yeah, I think the just paced off of what we've seen Forrest Boyce do with this one on an inside post position back in October of last year. They're going to be coming in hot. This one does have the ability to get up there off of the layoff, so I have full faith in this jockey-trainer combination. I like how Carrie just kind of fits these jockeys to these horses as well as we get into the summer meet. Let's go ahead to the number 1, where admittedly I also landed on this one as well, like you did with your top selection, Mackenzie. This is Lilliput for Brittany and Sheldon Russell, and of course we've got to trust in Brittany and Sheldon Russell coming over from California. Of course, Brittany very trustworthy with this type. 34%, 24 for 69 with a trainer change and a first-time route. First off of the layoff, we gotta love that about Brittany.
Right, and here's one who, you know, I think the distance could ultimately end up fitting here. You change the pace dynamic. This is one who had the blinkers added last time out. So second time blinkers here today, coming off a little bit of a freshening. Ultimately has been around for a little bit. This isn't the most recent transfer, so I like that we have a few works here over on the East Coast. The last one out at Santa Anita was back in March on the 14th, so for me, that's something that does kind of mean something. Ultimately, I felt like you could try to beat the favoritism if we were getting a short price here. 5-2 feels a little bit more comfortable.
Well, if we're talking about works, I thought it was very interesting that Brittany Russell had this one working over at Pimlico, which means there was a slight intention of maybe entering this horse. Maybe the race didn't come up, what have you, all kinds of different things. But if she's going to have a horse over there in her Pimlico string during the Pimlico meet, there was some intention of running that weekend earlier. So that means this one is tight, locked, and loaded, and absolutely ready to go here. We'll be breaking from the 4 post. Obviously trouble in both of those starts. I think this one is asking for more distance, quite frankly, here. As we go ahead to the number 10 to the outside, and that's going to be Lyric Street from Michael Trombetta. Ismirio Villalobos here gets the call. Let's go ahead and take a look at that stat that Dan Illman has for us. $2.54 in ROI with this type of layoff, second after the specific day layoff on the turf. And if you take a look at the effort last time out, opening up in that spring season, just didn't get the trip, but ended up overcoming the adversity. You see in those efforts 2 and 3 back, this one's used to being sent. Last time out, got kind of chucked around at the beginning, ended up having to finish out. That is a really good sign to me.
Right. I was excited to see what we had from this one for that first time on the turf and first off of the bench for that May effort. I ultimately thought it closed well enough, but maybe wasn't as flashy as it sort of jumps off the page. I'm excited to see what we get here second time on the turf. Maybe it could work out going the mile, but I actually didn't mind that 1.16 distance. Comes from a family who is a little bit more of a middle distance and sprinting type leaning position, so definitely can understand the aptitude to go ahead and try here.
I think this one, as long as this one gets a clean trip on the outside, we're going to see this one sent a little bit further, and that'll benefit and that'll help out for this mile distance for sure. As we go ahead to your number 9 in Tammy's Magic, Tim Keefe, Andreas Chavez here. Last time we saw this one in the turf, we're looking for a little bit of a different story today.
Right, just really ran into quite a bit of trouble. I don't necessarily mind that effort. We came off the turf back in the beginning of May, and this one was just, as the line reads, outrun early. But, I thought there was just a little bit of kick through the lane with this one, trying to get inside if you watch that race and sort of pick it apart. So ultimately I say, I like what we saw, improved a little bit galloping out. Really excited to get this one back on the turf and just have a fair shot here. You also get second time Lasix on today.
I think it's very interesting that this second time Lasix, that's a great angle that you love to go for, and it usually works out very well for you. Coming back into 2025, they had this one entered in the turf, but this was an off-track event. They decided to just get a run in this one. Interestingly enough, the dam never tried the turf, so you got to lean on Keefe a little bit to say, hey, this one I think is just movement-wise ready for the turf, and obviously I think the longer distance just is going to be suited just with what you've seen this one in those previous replays. Going ahead to the number 11 is Canadian Bear. For Lacey Gaudette, Carol Cedeno gets the call here. 5-1 with this one. Comes back for 2025, coming down to the 12.5. We're in for 30 today. Just maybe set up a little bit early last time out. I'm just looking for a second off the layoff for Lacey Gaudette. I think this one is going to really enjoy this type of distance today at this level.
Right, and I ultimately went back and forth because I wonder if this one were drawn inside. I might have jumped right on board, just looked a little bit hard to settle last time out, and I thought if we're on the outside, it might kind of force the hand to sort of buzz things up and then have to put it back together. So that's where I went back and forth, maybe splitting hairs, but certainly showed some athletic ability and ready to roll on that debut for the 25 season.
Yeah, I agree. I think they kind of did a little bit of that last time out, which is why they may change a little bit of those tactics. They may be have Carol be a little bit more patient with this one here today, which that's kind of the attractor that does it for me. Plenty to talk about in this field, and we're going to have Dave Rodman do exactly just that. When we get to the post-parade, he's going to be taking a look at his selections and what else he could pick up there on the track from his eagle eye from the announcer's booth. 2-1 on the number 10 as your favorite here for this opener in the late value low industry takeout early pick 5.
The horses stepping out for the first race, 6 minutes to post time. Main track good, turf good. First race, mile turf, Dahlia course, rail 52 feet. Scratch 1A Jewish Mother, 5 tight line, 6 Radiant Tones, 8 Autumn in Vermont, 13 Risky Business, 14 Lord's Lady, 15 Fab Girl. To Teddy's Lucky Girl, 1 over. Exacta, trifecta, superfecta, double pick 3. Value pick 5, 12% takeout. 4 minutes. $12, Wickley Lady unseated the jockey. Number 12, Wickley Lady, late scratch. Ran off. 12, Wickley Lady, late scratch. In this first race, refunds, win, place, show, exacta, trifecta, superfecta. Time for refunds, exchanges in the double, win, place, show, exacta, trifecta, superfecta. This first leg of the value pick 5. If you've used the 12, you'll get the favorite final odds.